What is up, you guys? This is Will. In this video, I'll explain to you the discrepancy or the gap between the 2.5 million users on Veve that resided in one of the recent AMAs and the 600,000 unique owners that we see on Immutascan. I do believe that the 2.5 million number is actually true, and there are several reasons why it might not make sense to everybody. I will explain to you all of them. At the same time, I'll tell you stories on how other companies that are much bigger than Veve, like Netflix and Twitter, are also having the same problem with defining users. Before we get started, if you find the content helpful, please give this video a like. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and most of all, subscribe now so that you don't miss out on actionable and valuable insights that will help you to make better decisions in Veve. Let's get to it. Let me ask you these questions real quick. Let's say that you have a Netflix account. Usually with a single Netflix account, you can sign on 5 different devices. You have one on your phone, one on the TV in the living room, you give one to your wife, and the other 2, you give them to your 2 kids. In this case, should you be counted as 5 users, 4, or just 1? This is a more relevant and up-to-date example. Elon Musk is trying to buy Twitter. The main reason why the deal hasn't gone through is because Twitter reports that only 5% of its user base are bots, and Elon doesn't believe so. Elon Musk believes that actually the real number of bot users on Twitter is actually somewhere between 15 to 25% of the total user base. From Twitter's perspective, for every 100 Twitter account, 95 are real human beings and 5 are bots. From Elon Musk's perspective, for every 100 Twitter account, 75 are real human beings and 25 are bots. If that's the case, then the valuation of Twitter should be a whole lot less than what he's about to pay for. Think about that for a second. Netflix and Twitter are gigantic companies that have been around for much longer than Veve. They do employ really smart people, yet none of them can accurately pinpoint the real number of users that they have. I do believe that the 2.5 million users that resided are actually 2.5 million unique email addresses that will enter into the system, into the database, to sign up for new account. I will explain why. The thing about these tech products is that the moment that you put in your email address to create a new account, a new record will be created for you in a Veve database system. It doesn't matter if you will click on the verification email later. It doesn't matter if you even log in or not. It doesn't matter what you do in the product. The moment that you give Veve your email address, a new record will be created for you, simply because Veve will need to find out a way to send you that verification email for you to verify. So the moment I put in my email address, WillGoesMeta@email.com, into the Veve app, a new record, a new user ID or account ID will be created for me in the Ecomi Veve database. It doesn't matter what I do afterwards. It doesn't matter if I don't even log into the app. It doesn't matter if I don't even interact with the verification email that they send me. A new record will be created for me regardless. So then we have these layers of users that are segmented depending on what they do in the app. And I do believe that the moment you sign up, you are basically defined by Veve Ecomi as a user. It doesn't matter what you do afterwards. So the 2.5 million users basically means that there have been 2.5 million email addresses or 2.5 million attempts to create a Veve account. And they are not wrong to say that there are 2.5 million users, because if you download the app and you sign up for the account, you have used Veve. It doesn't matter what you do afterward. You have used Veve by just downloading and putting in your email addresses. So let's say that if I were a botter, right? If I were to bot Veve to get drops or whatever, I can create 10 different email addresses and I can sign up for 10 different accounts on Veve. It doesn't matter if I verify my account. It doesn't matter if I bot or not. The fact that I can create 10 different email addresses and use those 10 to create 10 Veve accounts just contributed 10 new users to the Veve ecosystem. So now I will explain to you the difference between the 2.5 million users and 600,000 unique owners on Immutascan. Notice how I emphasize owners. This is because I believe that they said unique owners, meaning these are the people or users who are owning at least one NFTs. They didn't use wallets, because wallets can basically mean a combination of empty wallets and non-empty wallets. They use unique owners here. So in my opinion, this basically means that there are almost 600,000 users on Veve who are owning at least one NFT. Okay, so that's my evidence number one. Now let's get to a tweet by Pyromaniac. He's a legend in the community, we all know that. And this is a tweet back in March 30th, but it has a really good point, which is at the start of the drop today, Immutascan show 567,000 around the area unique wallets holding Veve official NFT by the time the distribution ended. That number had peaked at almost 580,000. Okay, so basically means out of the 30,000 comics minus those withheld by the team, at least 12.3 thousand went to previously empty wallets. So as you can see, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is when the drops usually happen, going all the way to 1 p.m., the number of unique owners on Veve actually went up because there were previously non-owners who got the drop. So now they become unique owners because now they are owning something, probably the NFTs from this particular drop. So that's why the number of unique owners went up. And then if you notice, after 1 p.m., these new unique owners started selling these NFTs. So the number of unique owners on Veve declined because, you know, if these unique owners with only one NFT sell their NFTs, then they would not be considered as unique owners anymore. So if my hypothesis were correct, and the definition of a unique owner is actually somebody who's owning at least one NFT, then it is very easy for us to explain the discrepancy between the 2.5 million users and 600,000 unique owners. If you think about it, we all know that the majority of the 2.5 million users, quote-unquote users on Veve, are actually bots. The typical behavior of bot accounts is that they would come in for a drop, get the NFTs, and then immediately flip the NFTs on the secondary markets for gems. Because they are bot accounts, there's no point in holding on to these collectibles. They're not collectors anyways. Their main responsibility is to get the drops, flip them on the secondary market, get the gems, and then figure out a way to transfer those gems back to the main account or to the bot's account. Previously, they could have used gems transfer so that they can transfer the gems back to the bot's account, to the main account. And now, because that particular functionality is suspended, they can easily purchase a collectible listed by the main account, the bot account, at a very high price so that they can move all those gems back to the bot's account. And now obviously afterwards, the bot's account, which is the main account, will have a lot of gems, and that person can sell the gems for crypto and try to wash it. My whole point here is that usually this bot account can get collectibles very easily, but they usually don't hold on to them for a very long time because their main purpose here is to flip for gems and then try to figure out a way to move the gems back to a different account. So even though Veve has 2.5 million users, quote unquote users, hypothetically, if 1.9 million users are actually bot, and the typical behavior of these bot accounts is that they flip for gems, right? So they are not holding on to any collectibles, they are not owning collectibles, then that would not qualify them to become unique owners because they're not owning anything. This is why they don't show up in the 600,000 number of unique owners that we see on Immutascan. And then we have the last metric, which is probably the easiest one, which are active users. So what does active users mean? I think Reese mentioned at one point that the way that they define an active user is somebody who does one or two things in the app on a monthly basis. So that one or two thing hasn't been specified yet, but you know, it could have been anything like logging in, looking at a draft, for example, anything like that. So it's very easy to understand. To summarize everything, the 2.5 million active users can be 2.5 million unique email addresses that will enter to create 2.5 million Veve accounts. And then for the discrepancy between the 2.5 million users on the app and 600,000 unique owners on Immutascan, that could have been the fact that the majority of users on Veve are bot, and bots usually are not owning anything. Again, they flip for gems. They don't typically own collectibles. Therefore, they don't qualify to be called unique owners. That is it, you guys. If you found the video helpful, please give it a like. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And most of all, subscribe now so that you don't miss out on actionable and valuable insights that will help you to make better decisions on Veve. I have so many interviews coming up and it's going to be a lot of fun and you'll get a lot of values from it. All right, I hope to see you again next time. Peace.